Breaking news tonight, as we go to air, authorities in the search for 5-year-old Nevaeh Buchanan clear the airspace. They order the press 2 miles away from a local river. Has the body of little 5-year-old Nevaeh been found? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. I want to thank you for being with us. We are live at the River Raisin, Monroe, Michigan. Evidence experts called in as we go to air at this moment. Press banned for 2 miles. The airways closed down. Let's go live straight out to Rob Davidek, News Director, WWJ News Radio 950. Rob, what's happening there at River Raisin?
Well, you have evidence experts there, you have the sheriff there, you have Michigan State Police, the FBI, all acting on a tip this afternoon. They had the helicopter from the law enforcement over the river. They came up, they found a child's body. No one is confirming anything yet. They're saying they want to make sure it is her, if in fact it is Nevaeh Buchanan. But right now they're searching, they found a body. They'll be examining it, as you well know, and looking for other clues in the area where they found that body. But again, nobody's confirming anything. They're trying to get out all their ducks in a row, if you will.
Rob Davidek with WWJ News Radio 950. Our sources are telling us the body that you are seeing now being pulled from the River Raisin, Monroe County, was wearing similar clothes to those little Nevaeh was wearing when she went missing, riding her scooter. Is that true?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're hearing too, and everything is pointing to it is this 5-year-old girl. But again, right now they're just trying to figure out if, they want to make sure it is before they talk with the family. We understand that the father, who you've had on a couple of nights here in a row now, that the father is with the police. We understand that Nevaeh's uncle has been in contact with police as well.
Everyone, we are live at the River Raisin, Monroe County, there in Michigan. You are seeing it as we are seeing it. Evidence experts called to the side of the river. Apparently, a child's body has just been discovered. Is it that of 5-year-old Nevaeh Buchanan? The search has been on for days now. The little girl last seen by a playmate outside, unsupervised by adults, riding her scooter. We know that she allegedly vanished. The scooter, the only clue left behind. You are seeing it as we are seeing it, as best we can see it. The airspace has been cleared by local police and the FBI. We are just barely getting these shots as it happens. You are seeing evidence experts on the scene, dressed in their laboratory white, a tent set up to preserve evidence as it is being pulled from the river. Right now, we don't know the condition of the body. We don't know if it's a man, woman, girl, or boy. Sources are telling us it is the body of a little child. Straight back out to Rob Davidek, News Director, WWJ News Radio 950, on the story from the very beginning. Rob, just yesterday evening, the reward money went up. And then a tip comes in today. Do we know, Rob, is it a tip from someone that saw the body or someone that knew information about the missing girl's whereabouts?
Nancy, right now we're not sure. We haven't been able to talk with police. Obviously, they're busy. But we don't know if it came in as a result of that tip or if it was somebody who saw something along the river. I can tell you that there are 2 roads that parallel. You're probably seeing them that parallel the river in that area. It's about 2-3 miles west of where this girl lived. So we don't know right now if it was a tip from that, from the reward that was posted for 20 grand, or if it was somebody who actually saw something.
You are seeing the highway along the river. It looks to be a fairly secluded area, flanked by FBI, local police, and crime scene investigators. High-tech investigators on the scene right now. A body being pulled from the River Raisin there in Monroe, Michigan. Is it 5-year-old Nevaeh? Back to Rob Davidek with WWJ News Radio 950. Where are the parents tonight? Where's Daddy and where's Mommy? Is she snugged up with her sex offender boyfriend?
Well, he's still in jail from what we understand. He gave an interview to the Toledo Blade newspaper saying he had nothing to do with this, but he's still in jail, number one. I tried to make contact with the mother and a friend of the mother that we've been in contact with, and they didn't answer their cell phone. We understand that Shane Hinojosa, the father, who's been up for the last 12 days, in the apartment complex and hanging out there and searching for Nevaeh Buchanan, that he's with police right now.
Rob, if he has been cleared as a person of interest or a suspect, why is he still behind bars?
Well, if you remember, George Kennedy we're talking about, he was out of jail, he was on parole, and thus when they picked him up, he had violated his parole because he was near children. That was part of his parole, conditions of his parole was he's not supposed to be around any children at all. And thus, that's why they picked him back up, because he was hanging around the, Jennifer Buchanan. And Jennifer Buchanan has said, which you've had on, that, that he was kind of a father figure, and obviously he had some contact with Nevaeh.
We are taking your calls live. Let's unleash the lawyers. Richard Herman out of New York, Randy Kessler out of Atlanta, and Barry Brumer with justicecalls.org, attorney and jury consultant. Richard Herman, a parole violation, please. Also with me, child advocate Sue Moss. A parole violation? This brings to mind when the killer, the alleged killer, in the Jennifer Hudson family murders was picked up on a parole violation, and he was held until they finally charged him. Look, on a parole violation, they don't use up the cot space for you. Let's save that for the brand new rapists and killers and child molesters. They don't have room for somebody that's just on a parole violation. That's the truth, Richard.
Well, all eyes are on this George Kennedy. There's a reason sexual offenders are not permitted to be around young kids. So unless he can show and itemize every step of the way since this girl's been missing, he's going to be number one. They're going to be looking at him up, down, and around.
Sue Moss, weigh in.
This mother is dating a sex offender? Are you kidding me? With friends like that, who needs enemies? I mean, the fact that she put her child in this type of risk, regardless of whether he did it or not, that's a problem.
To Barry Brumer, upon careful review of the facts, they actually met at the parole office. That's a big dating don't. Don't get involved with somebody you meet at the parole office. But all that aside, this guy comes out declaring his innocence. But why is he still behind bars?
Nancy, I'm a little suspicious about that. I think they're holding him out of charge because he is a party of interest. Unfortunately, the studies show that convicted sex offenders many times become more violent. They don't want to go back to jail. The way to do it in their minds is to dispose of the evidence, unfortunately, maybe killing the victim. Hopefully this isn't the case here, but it sure looks bad.
Randy Kessler, you are a defense attorney there in the Atlanta jurisdiction. Just take off your defense hat for one moment and give it to me straight. Just be honest with the viewers, all right? Have you ever known a sex offender, a child molester, that has been cured?
I don't think you can cure. It's just like a lot of the other illnesses. Alcoholics don't call themselves cured. They say they're recovering alcoholics.
Put Kessler up. Put Kessler up. Kessler, are you comparing a child molester to someone who suffers an illness? Did I just hear that?
No, but a lot of people would call it an illness.
This body is being pulled out of the Raisin River as we go to air.
But people
and you're calling it an illness?
No, people say you can't cure alcoholism. Well, you certainly can't cure being a child molester, a sexual offender. Look, the reason they probably still have him in jail is so he doesn't collude with the mother if they had any similar knowledge. They don't want them talking, and you were asking why is he still in jail. That's a good reason to keep him in jail.
To Mark Class, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation. Mark Class, what do you make of it?
Well, first of all, never in the history of the world has a pedophile or a psychopath ever been cured. So let's be very clear of this. Now, if this turns out to be Nevaeh, this completely changes the nature of the investigation from a missing child to a homicide. This is the worst possible scenario, if in fact this is confirmed, because what that means then is that she was one of those children, one of those rare children who was kidnapped for perverted sexual gratification and then disposed of afterwards. So I think that whoever it is who said just a couple of minutes ago that the escalating nature of crimes of these types of criminals ultimately results in a scenario that ends up like Polly or ends up